I would like to inform you that on April 1st, we will not only be experiencing a new moon, but also a partial solar eclipse in the sign of Aries, which is the cardinal fire sign. As the moon moves between Earth and the Sun, it partially obscures the light that the Sun emits in certain areas of our planet. This phenomenon is known as lunar eclipse. Those individuals who have been spiritually selected for rapid growth are the ones who are most substantially impacted by this cosmic alignment, which creates a powerful doorway of transformation that has an effect on the collective consciousness. At the peak of this Aries new moon partial solar eclipse, the moon is moving across the face of the Sun. This causes the fiery energy of Aries to create a frequency that breaks falsehood and accelerates the truth. The chosen ones are about to experience a significant shift in their energetic state at this very moment. The eclipse functions as a cosmic catalyst, setting off a chain reaction that starts with a private communication that makes its way into the public domain. It is precisely at 15:45 Universal Time that the partial eclipse takes place, which results in what astrologers refer to as the hour of revelation. This is a small window of time during which the veil that separates the visible and invisible realms is significantly lowered. A key exposure event takes place during this potent moment, and it is experienced by someone who has been actively striving to undermine you, smear your character, or construct an extensive false narrative around your identity. A catastrophic error is made by this individual during what they assume to be a secure private talk. This individual has devoted a significant amount of work in attempting to dull your light or position themselves as your victim. The planetary conjunction that occurs when Mercury is retrograde in Pisces and this eclipse occurs in Aries gives the ideal conditions for technology blunders and insights regarding interpersonal connection. Things that were supposed to be concealed unexpectedly become obvious to the naked eye. The phone call, text message chain, email thread, or voice note that they make to you, which contains their genuine intentions and manipulations involving you, ends up in the hands of those who are not on the receiving end of it. In their obsessive endeavor to conduct a character assassination, smear campaign, or strategic manipulation against you, they unwittingly reveal their own jealousy, guilt, or potentially illegal and unethical actions. This is because they are trying to manipulate you strategically. Mars, the planet of action and conflict, is dominated by the eclipse energy in Aries, which ensures that their words will boomerang back, with results that are both rapid and decisive. When it comes to some individuals, this may take the form of a co-worker who has been undermining your contributions, having their private messages about you unintentionally shared in a company chat. It may be a former buddy who, in the process of trying to collect allies against you, mistakenly tapes themselves admitting to spreading deliberate falsehoods. This could happen to some people without their knowledge. There is a possibility that the actions of an ex-partner to destroy your reputation will backfire for certain individuals when their messages are transmitted to mutual connections who immediately identify the manipulation. The eclipse that occurs in the sign of Aries acts as a wiretap in the heavens, recording and revealing the truth that has been functioning below the surface. This force of the fire sign is unrepentant and quick in its revelation, which results in a dramatic reversal of roles. Now, those individuals who have positioned themselves as truth-tellers, who uncover your real nature, are finding that they have been exposed by cosmic forces that are beyond their control. This incident carries with it a significant message about divine timing and protection, which is a spiritual trademark. This particular person has been given sufficient leeway by the universe to expose their true nature, and now that revelation is being made public. As a result of their activities against you, an energetic debt was established, which the universe is now requesting to be paid. Keep this reality in mind as the eclipse progresses. It is the execution of divine justice. They have used your name as a weapon, but they have been caught in the act of wielding it. Exceptional records are kept by the universe, and on April 1st, the revenues will be made available to the general public. Additionally, the new moon in Aries is symbolic of the ultimate cosmic reset. But when combined with a solar eclipse, this energy transforms into a total identity recalibration for those who have been personally chosen. The 1st of April is the day that officially marks the energy death of your previous self, the version of yourself that struggled, doubted, and suffered as you made your way through the valley of shadows for your spiritual initiation. You didn't stumble here by accident. You were led. If something in your spirit is stirring, don't ignore it. Tap Join to access exclusive content, prophetic insights, and a community of purpose-driven souls. This isn't just a membership. It's your moment of alignment. Step into who you were born to be. Welcome to the Chosen. The Phoenix Gate is a rare astronomical configuration that occurs when a new moon eclipse comes within 10 degrees of the Aries point while establishing harmonious aspects to transformative outer planets. This eclipse triggers what ancient astrologers referred to as the Phoenix Gate. A complete and total combustion of energy is symbolized by the Phoenix Gate, which is then followed by beautiful rebirth. It was referred to as the breath of Osiris in Egyptian astrology. This celestial wind is responsible for resurrecting those who have been spiritually initiated into their godlike potential after they have been subjected to periods of dismemberment and trial. A cosmic shadow work portal is created by the partial solar eclipse. This portal allows your previous identity to be temporarily obscured, similar to how the sun is obscured during an eclipse. This allows for a new, higher frequency version of yourself to emerge when the light returns. Astrologers refer to this doorway as a cosmic shadow work portal. A transformation process that started a long time ago is brought to a successful conclusion by this specific eclipse that occurs at 9 degrees Aries, a number that is associated with completeness and spiritual mastery. Beginning with this eclipse, folks who were familiar with you in the past will no longer be able to recognize you energetically. Because of the enormous elevation that occurs in your vibrational signature, physical appearance, energy field, and public perception, individuals from your past will suffer cognitive dissonance when they come into contact with you again. Your aura is imbued with evident confidence, authority, and magnetic force that cannot be ignored or decreased. This is because the fiery presence of Aries energy is present. The results of this shift are not only superficial. There is a basic rewiring that takes place in the way that people view you within the collective awareness. During an eclipse, negative thought patterns and obsolete beliefs that other people have held about you are obliterated. As a result of this cosmic occurrence, their mental image of you as someone who was suffering, lacking, or still finding your way has been utterly erased. People who last saw you when you were at your lowest point will now find you in positions of leadership, who are surrounded by abundance, who are acknowledged for your gifts, or who are standing boldly in your power. Their reaction will be one of obvious confusion as they attempt to reconcile the powerful creature that is in front of them with the mental image that they have of themselves. Who knows what became of them? Becomes their implicit inquiry as they observe your ascent to the top of authority. Having former co-workers see announcements of your achievement running into old classmates when you are being interviewed on a podcast, or having previous connections, see your glow up on social media, are all examples of how this manifestation may be rather literal for certain individuals who have been chosen. The experience may be more energizing for some people, such as noting a change in how people react to your presence, observing an increase in respect in professional settings, or experiencing a greater ease in commanding attention. As a result of the conjunction of the Aries new moon with the sun during this eclipse, you will be bathed in solar golden light, which is the ultimate spiritual cleanliness and enhancement. Not only is this the healing of past wounds, but it is also the entire transformation of the victim. Your previous battles are buried so deeply by the eclipse that they become unreachable, even to those who were present during them in the past. The only thing that is visible is your divine blueprint, which is your fullest potential self. Now, when you travel around the world after April 1st, keep this fact with you. They remember the anguish, but the world will only know the power. The difficulties you have faced were not in vain. Rather, they were the essential initiation that was required to manufacture the diamond-like brightness that you now embody. That revealed discussion about you, the one that contains evidence of someone's genuine motives and deeds, does not only cause the person who committed the offense to feel embarrassed for a little moment. It becomes the impetus for a rigorous research that goes beyond the realms of spirituality and materializes in the presence of solid, three-dimensional reality. The energy of the eclipse, in particular its square to Pluto, which is the planet of concealed information and transformational justice, ensures that what starts out as a solitary leak swiftly turns into a complete investigation. In the case of those who have been selected, this presents itself as an unexpected alliance from systems, institutions, or powers that had previously appeared to be unconcerned about your predicament. Someone who is in a position to make decisions, whether it be in the job, the judicial system, the social circle, or even the structure of the family, begins to gather evidence about individuals who have hurt you in a confidential manner. Depending on the particular circumstances of your case, this could take many different forms. When their words about you reach leadership, a former boss who tries to undermine your career may suddenly find themselves under the scrutiny of human resources because of their actions. It is possible that an ex-partner who spreads tales will find out that their mutual friends have been documenting their miscommunications. There is a possibility that a member of the family who has pointed the finger at you will be faced with evidence of their own actions by other members of the family. Due to the fact that Mercury is currently in retrograde motion, entering boundary-dissolving Pisces during this eclipse period, concealed information will be brought to the surface, much like water will eventually reach its level. It is impossible for secrets to remain submerged beneath this cosmic structure. It is especially important to note that you do not have to be the one to coordinate any of this happening on your own. Without requiring your participation in any way, the investigation is being coordinated by the universe. If your heart overflows with God's blessings, let that love shine. Click the super thank you button and give $20 or more to plant seeds of faith that will impact countless lives. Your generosity reflects His abundance. Be a vessel of His grace and watch His kingdom flourish through you. The ancient astrologers referred to this event as the return of Saturn's records, and the spiritual mechanisms that underlie it are related to this phenomenon. The justice sectors of your astrological chart are activated by the eclipse, and those individuals who have created karmic debt by their activities against you are now subject to cosmic auditing. Individuals initiate the process of course correction by utilizing their own spiritual guides, higher selves, and members of the Karmic board. The most remarkable aspect of this study is that it frequently takes place without your knowledge, at least in the beginning. At the same time as you are concentrating on your divine rebirth and exaltation, forces working behind the scenes are methodically documenting the truth. Even the people who are closest to you and who are considered allies of those who have harmed you start to silently question narratives, make mental notes, and physically separate themselves from the potential fallout. During this divine justice operation, the perfect energetic environment is created by the partial solar eclipse that is occurring in the sign of Aries, which is a fighter. Those who had been operating in the shadows under the impression that they were invisible suddenly realize that cosmic spotlights are illuminating their deeds. This occurs because the light of the sun is briefly hidden. While the inquiry is ongoing, it is important to keep one fact in mind. They believed the call was private, but the cosmos was listening. Despite the fact that divine justice functions on its own timetable, this eclipse speeds up the process significantly. A potent energy signature will become active in your horoscope as the partial solar eclipse brings about a brief period of darkness before unveiling renewed light. During this eclipse period, Saturn is in a sextile relationship with Uranus, which creates the ideal astrological conditions for what can only be defined as a structured revolution. Structured revolutions are developments that are systematic and ultimately yield public vindication. This expresses itself for those who have been chosen as an important individual or institution that had previously remained silent about your position and is now working strategically to correct the narrative. The person in question is not acting on impulse. Rather, they are systematically planning how to clear your name or restore your image in a manner that cannot be discounted or dismissed. Someone who watched your problems from a position of authority or influence, possibly someone you felt was indifferent or even against you, is the source of this cosmic development, which is what makes it extremely strong. This is because it frequently originates from an unexpected source. In point of fact, they have been paying close attention to the happenings. Their impartial stance has been kept for the sole purpose of accumulating extensive proof or preserving their credibility in preparation for the moment when they will openly declare their support for you. There is a possibility that this divine ally is a former adversary who, despite the fact that you are not the same, has grown true appreciation for the way in which you have navigated adversity with integrity. It may be a leader, a mentor, or a figure of authority who recognized your value but wanted to examine the event in its whole before intervening. There are some instances in which it could even be someone who had previously questioned your abilities but has since undergone a complete paradigm change as a result of watching both your resiliency and the manipulative strategies that were employed against you. The eclipse in Aries sprouts a seed of righteous intervention in their mind, a burning need to put the record straight that cannot be ignored. This desire cannot be disregarded. As a result of the commanding presence of the warrior Mars during this eclipse, their advocacy takes on a more strategic and daring implementation. They are not only providing you with private support, rather they are planning a public endorsement, correction, or revelation that will dramatically alter how people view you. You're not here by chance. Feel the pull, tap, join to unlock truth, purpose, and a tribe that gets it. This is more than a membership. It's your calling. This may take the shape of career redemption for certain individuals who have been chosen. For example, a former employer or a prominent figure in the sector may publicly acknowledge your efforts or correct any misunderstandings over your departure from your professional position. Some people may see it as social vindication, which is when a respected member of the community publicly addresses falsehoods or incorrect narratives that have been being spread about you. It's possible that some people will experience this as support from the legal system or an institution, documentation, or testimony that formally clears their reputation. Within the context of this eclipse, the sextile that exists between Saturn, which is structured, and Uranus, which is revolutionary, creates the ideal energetic container for this intervention. In addition to providing the stability that comes with established authority, it also provides the disruptive power that is necessary to disprove erroneous narratives. When your advocate talks, their words will have clear weight and significance according to this cosmic configuration, which guarantees that they will. The timing of this development is what makes it something that is particularly miraculous. In other words, it occurs precisely when you have let go of attachment to external validation and accepted your own reality, regardless of how the public perceives you. In order to provide you with external proof of what you already know on the inside, the universe waits until you have finished this spiritual lesson. It is important to keep this truth in mind, while this redemption unfolds in the aftermath of the eclipse that occurred on April 1st. They attempted to cancel you, but the cosmos just booked you for a more prominent stage. Your vindication is not only about erasing the past, rather, it is the essential groundwork for the elevated platform that is waiting for you. As the partial solar eclipse in Aries triggers Mercury retrograde in psychic Pisces, a spectacular energetic phenomena takes place in the mind of those individuals who have aimed bad intentions towards you. This astrological configuration produces what ancient astrologers referred to as the mirror of Neptune, which is a profound psychic reflection that compels humans to confront the energy that they have pushed outward. The Akashic Hour is a time when the cosmic records become exceptionally accessible and karmic imprints become visibly felt in the material domain. The eclipse takes place at this time, which mystics refer to as the Akashic Hour. It is during this window that the barrier that separates dimensions becomes significantly thinner, making it possible for spiritual energies to exert a more direct influence on the physical world. Those individuals who have incurred karmic debt as a result of their activities against the chosen ones are required to confront their own shadow stuff in ways that are inevitable and frequently unsettling. During the time that Mercury is in retrograde motion at 8 degrees Pisces, a phenomenon known as a mental echo chamber is created. This phenomenon occurs when ideas, particularly those that are directed with emotional intensity, ricochet back to their sender with increased force. The impact of Pisces adds a component of dissolution to mental barriers, making it impossible for these individuals to compartmentalize their acts or reason away their behavior. A powerful psychic boomerang effect is what those who have been chosen experience as a result of this. An unanticipated metaphysical consequence is currently being experienced by a person who has been excessively focused on your demise, who has invested energy in decreasing your light, or who has purposefully projected negative thoughts toward you. Their subconscious mind, which is aroused by the powerful reset energy of the eclipse, starts processing the karmic imbalance that they have produced. This person comes to the realization that they are suddenly being tormented by your energetic signature. They hear your name in unrelated conversations, see people who look like you in crowds, come across allusions to you in unexpected places, or find themselves checking your social media accounts incessantly, despite their best efforts to stop doing so. The most unsettling aspect for them is that you start showing up in their dreams or while they are in a meditative state. This does not happen because of any desire on your part. Rather, it happens because of the natural mechanisms of energetic return. Mercury in retrograde and Pisces, a sign that dissolves boundaries, work together to guarantee that the mental barriers that they have erected between their actions and the consequences of their actions are entirely removed. It is no longer possible for their psychological barriers, which include the rationalizations, projections, and denials that they employed in order to justify their actions toward you, to contain the increasing pressure of the truth. For many people, this expresses itself as persistent insomnia, which causes them to lie awake at 3 o'clock in the morning, having your name resonating in their head, revisiting interactions with you that they misunderstood or exploited, or experiencing an unexplainable sense of urgency to make apologies. There is a possibility that some people will experience cognitive dissonance throughout their waking hours. This is because they will be unable to continue to maintain their negative narrative about you when proof of your integrity and achievement becomes increasingly obvious. For the resentful ex-partner who circulated rumors, this may take the form of dreams in which they are presented with the opportunity to publicly admit their lies. The envious co-worker that undermined you can have recurring thoughts that wonder why they felt so threatened by your achievement. This could be a sign that they are trying to justify their behavior. If you have a false friend who has broken your confidence, it may manifest itself in the form of repeating symbolic dreams in which their secrets are revealed in a similar manner. An especially intense atmosphere for this reckoning is created by the partial solar eclipse that is occurring in the sign of Aries, which is aggressive. As the light from the sun is momentarily covered during the eclipse, these folks suffer a parallel dimming of their carefully built illusions, which is then followed by the harsh light of truth when the eclipse is finally over. Despite the fact that it does not involve any activity on your part, this new development is significant on a spiritual level. It is not necessary for you to send them energy, entertain thoughts about them, or interact with them in any way. That whatever they projected towards you now reflects back to its source, with magnified intensity, is a result of the natural principles of energetic return, which have been accelerated by the eclipse portal. The partial solar eclipse that occurs during the new moon in Aries acts as a cosmic mirror, reflecting the truth not only to the outside world, but also to the environment that individuals who have caused imbalance have created within themselves. The difficult process of alignment is initiated by their own higher awareness, which is the part of them that knows better, despite the defenses brought up by their ego. It is important to keep in mind the following reality as this divine haunting continues to unfold in the days and weeks following the eclipse that occurred on April 1st. You never raised your voice, yet now your name is the loudest sound in their head. Their fixation on minimizing you becomes the very process that brings them to the realization that they are confronting their own shadow. It is around 3 to 5 days following the eclipse that the haunting reaches its pinnacle. This occurs when Mars, the planet that rules Aries, forms a perfect square to Pluto, which intensifies the psychological pressure to levels that are intolerable for individuals who are carrying karmic debt. As time goes on, dreams get more vivid, synchronicities become more common, and it becomes impossible to ignore the whispering of conscience. People who have harmed you may experience deep realizations about their own reasons during this time period. These realizations may disclose feelings of envy, insecurity, or woundedness that they had previously projected upon you.